What do you think of that electric model?
Wolfe has created my new favorite splitter.
What do you think of that electric model?
Wolfe has created my new favorite splitter.
You like it?
Yeah, I don't think I've split with anything that's quite that fast and that powerful. I mean, I had one round go sideways, and it was like this in there, and the wedge just kept going straight sideways through it. And not too many machines do that without grunting or showing that it's struggling. So, yeah, this thing is pretty awesome so far.
Well, there you go, everybody. Evan's first time running the 17 VSE. In no time, a full tote of hackberry and elm. And you've seen us right there at the end. He's splitting some cherry. And I'll just show you what the pile looks like over here, or the stack. We already put a big dent in that in a little of no time. And we're going to get Evan's first thoughts on this real quick and wrap the video up here. It's getting rather windy, so I hope the audio is okay. But what do you think, Evan? If we wasn't moving the camera and doing the normal YouTube video, what do you think? How long do you think it would have taken to split that tote right there if we'd had all the wood sitting there?
5 to 10 minutes. I
Yeah.
mean, that's probably the fastest splitter I've ever ran. It's
hard
to keep up with.
You guys know me. I'm not too concerned on speed. I like quality splits, but even with a single wedge vertical, if you do want to get some wood split, you can get it done.
You can get through it.
I'm always more concerned on what my splits look like in the end and not really necessarily speed. I think the sweet spot on a splitter, in my opinion, is around 5 to 7 seconds, 8 seconds in there. It depends on what kind of wood you're splitting, but yes, this vertical is, I think, and Evan has already told me this, that he thinks it's a little faster and
definitely more powerful.
You think it's more powerful, and I told him that before we even started, but as soon as we shut the camera off the first time, that's the first thing he said. And you guys may have noticed, I was wearing hearing protection. I've said before, with this vertical, you could probably go with or without it. I have tinnitus really bad, so I wear it. Evan does not.
Yeah.
What do you think, Evan? Was it comfortable without it, or?
It's a comfortable. I mean, it is a constant hum, but it doesn't really bother me. I don't have tinnitus like he does, so it really doesn't bother me. And I think it's just up to the person. I could see where some people would say that could be an annoying just sound, but to me, honestly, the sound of the wood splitting is louder to me.
Yeah, I know some of you have said in the comments on camera, well, that thing sounds loud. Well, you're not hearing the motor. You're hearing the whine of the pump. So if you put a motor on there, a Honda, an engine, you're going to hear the engine and that whine, but it's kind of drowning the whine out. So that just lets you know how quiet it is. But all in all, I've been super impressed with this splitter, and it was good to see Evan get to run it for the first time and get his thoughts on it. So guys, Evan is home. The Bert is back. So stay tuned for some more videos with him. He will be home from school for the summer. I'll just say, as a parent, Evan did amazing down at Alabama in his first year. He's already got 1 year of his engineering degree under his belt. He is happy to be home, but it was kind of bittersweet to leave.
Yeah.
He will be living in a different place down there next year, but with all the same friends, and this fall, starting on his second, I guess you call it a semester, or second year at college. So guys, stay tuned for some more videos with Evan in it. I'm glad to have him back because he just split a whole tote of firewood for me already. So guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. As always, I appreciate you being here. Until next time, like always, get outside.
See ya.